and welcome to this episode of EmpowerHer Play. I'm Yashmin and I have Salma and Shafia as usual, but this time I have an extra special guest. It's Farhana Ali, and she performed at our MSA event last couple of weeks ago. So Farhana, welcome to our podcast.
Thank you. Assalamu alaikum. Thank you for having me. Yes, ladies. Thank you so much.
We're going to go straight into it because we thought you were fantastic. You wrote us a specially exclusive song for MSA. We absolutely fell in love with it, and the performance on the evening was really, really good.
Thank you so much.
What did you think, Sam?
I love the idea because when we spoke before the event, you were like, I want everyone up on stage. And at that point, I was like... And when we got up there and I watched the videos and the pictures,
it worked.
And it really was
it
special.
worked so well because
really
I always said, like, when we had the telephone conversation, that it's not about me, it's about you ladies, and the whole point of that song
and I think we felt
was for you guys.
Really
and it did. There was such a power on the stage, and it was just so
really
beautiful. It was a really special moment,
it was.
actually, and I think your guests were loving it as well. The non-Muslim guests especially, I was watching them and watching their faces, and I think that they were so shocked that, God, these girls could do anything.
Yep.
Do you know what I mean? Because I think there's a massive stereotype of Muslims and what we are limited to be able to do as women. And when they saw that, I could see it in their faces that they were like, these girls can do absolutely anything. And it was a real special moment to see that. So I enjoyed it. Thank you for the invite.
And I felt like you were feeling that. You were feeling your lyrics. I know as a singer, you do, but there was something extra special, I think. And I think you really kind of immersed into that situation.
I want to take it back a little bit. So obviously it's your first time working with MSA. You didn't really know much about us, but how did you think the event went? What did you enjoy? And what did you enjoy, if there was anything?
Honestly, I was really impressed. And I think when I came in, I was like, I'm very picky about whose podcast I come in. And I liked you guys so much from the get-go. I was like, they're so professional. They're so welcoming. They're so on it. They're what they're doing for the women is great. I know, but I know you're probably got secrets in the closet. But
can you guess in this one shot?
Honestly, it was just so good, and it was very well planned and very well thought after. And I could see there was so much effort that kind of went into it that people haven't seen behind the scenes. They just think it kind of works just with the click of a finger, but we know different. It takes a lot of planning to get people to buy into what you're doing and to get them to come. And I saw that, and I was like, no, these girls are serious. You know, these women are serious. I said girls.
Girls,
you know, you're serious. But, it just made me proud to represent in my field alongside with you guys with the collab. And I thought, nothing went wrong except for that horrible white carpet. Oh my God. Lord.
I know.
Lord. White carpet.
Miscommunication with the guys there.
But it's okay. You know, sometimes
That's
when we leave men to do these things.
That's exactly.
You say it, Farhana.
That's all it was.
Otherwise, Yash and I would have walked in from the carpet shop and rolled it.
Sorry, and put it down. The red carpet should have been in it.
Absolutely.
But no, food was delicious. The people were amazing. The schedule was running great, you know. So I honestly, I couldn't fault it. And because you know what it's like on the night, things might go wrong. There might be a hiccup or two. But out of everything that went right, come on, you're never going to remember the bad parts. If there was any, I couldn't even pick you one, apart from the carpet. But you know, apart from that, it was great.
The first,
you know,
I love that.
There's just the small details, isn't it? But the buffet, the upstairs part,
grazing board.
that was
it
great.
grazing?
That was great. And do you know, it's always more difficult for someone like me who can't eat anything until after I've sung. Because it's that anxiety, that nerves.
Do you still feel that?
Massively,
Wow.
hugely. Like, I will start to anticipate the show or what I'm doing a week before. So I'll start building myself up. Okay, you've got this to do. And because I do so many, it's like multiple levels of anxiety. Like, okay, I've got this to do. I've got this to do. Make sure you learn your lyrics, your outfit, your whatever, you know, make sure it's on point. And then on the day, you're just like, I don't want to eat in case if I've eaten something and it's spicy, suddenly I start coughing and I start having a coughing fit. That will last for ages. And then I'm on stage
or dropping on your clothes.
I can't sing, or dropping on your clothes. Like all these things that
like
normal
yourself?
people wouldn't. Did you do it?
Sam
Oh,
Sam does it with ice cream.
Tendency to drop food.
Oh, that's her embarrassing moment.
Oh, no.
She drops food. She needs a bib when she goes out. But I can't talk either because if my son was here, he would have said exactly the same thing about me.
See what I mean?
Yeah.
But it looked,
It's an age thing,
I ate
so.
the things that were less offensive to eat. Do you know what I mean? That was able to, and then after that, I was like, yep. Now I can have something. Now I don't mind because how long did it last for? Like good
few hours.
Good few hours.
Yeah.
4 hours.
11,
4 hours, isn't it? 7 to 11.
7 to 11.
Yeah.
It was good. Yeah, it was not bad.
I'm going to go back to how you began singing and what drew you to nasheed singing and not normal mainstream.
One of my questions.
Oh,
Same. So I actually started off, I've always been in this industry through some avenue. So since I was a little girl, maybe even from 6 onwards, I've been in stage school. So I started off doing the ballets and the taps and the jazz and you know, so people, they don't know anything about me.
What's
they
your background?
see this is in my heritage, my family. So I'm half Pakistani and half Caribbean. So my dad is Pakistani, my mum's from Trinidad and Tobago. So I have a real fusion of different kind of cultures and different foods and different, you know, my ethnicity is so mixed. People are like, hey, they can't figure out where you're from. They kind of will say, oh, you Pakistani or you Indian or you Bengali. They go through all the South Asian countries, and I'm like, you guys are so far away, but it's okay. It makes an interesting topic for conversation, isn't it? But anyways, so I come from a very musical family as well. So growing up with that love of just music and qawwali and kind of spiritual songs, we always had that growing up. It was just something, I didn't know anything else apart from that. And I was in stage school from a very young age. I've performed all over the West End from a very small age up until early teens. So I'd done so much background before even coming into nasheeds, which was only now, 3 years?
Oh, really? Only 3 years?
2021. I think it was the first album Journey that dropped for nasheeds, because I had spent so long in mainstream writing songs for mainstream, so pop songs and things that are non-offensive songs, so all positive, all kind of nothing ever crude, nothing like, because I'm still a Muslim. You know, so just because I might be singing something that's not a nasheed, it was still a positive song, like the one for MSA. Do you understand that kind of theme, that narrative that I go through? So and I was doing that for a long time and doing all those shows and I wasn't fulfilled, you know, to my potential. And I saw, as I got older... Did you
feel like you were missing something? Or...
Always. Yeah, always. And I think the audience, to try and get into that whole avenue of mainstream music where you're on top of the pops and you're kind of, you know, back in those days, it was hard to get into as a brown girl. You couldn't do it.
Is that what the dream was, though, when you were younger?
That was the dream.
That was every girl's dream, no?
That's true. That was mine. Even in front of the mirror with a comb.
Do you know what I mean? But it was. That was the dream growing up. And for me, as my morals and values, I would never settle for anything than what I was. And I wouldn't then suddenly be wearing revealing clothes or doing what sex sells on TV. I could never do that. It just wasn't something to me that added up for me. I was tried to be persuaded to do all of those things to make it into the industry. I was like, I'm not going to do that. I couldn't.
Yeah, your moral didn't let you to do that.
It didn't let me do it. And I thought, okay, that's where I was falling short a little bit, that this dream of mine was slowly fading away because I wasn't, you know, succumbing to the pressures of being that pop star. I just wasn't going to do it. And I know many artists who are Muslim that have, you know, taken that path, and that's okay. You're on your journey.
Yeah.
For me, I just couldn't do it. And then obviously once I started practicing more and started learning more about Islam, I was like, there's no one doing this in the nasheed. Like, where's the representation for the women? Like, where are they? And I was listening to the same old boring nasheed, the same old ones.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I know, it is though, isn't it?
Over and over. Same over and over again. And I'm like, yeah, they're good, but they're not that good. It could be better. And I can do... Not in the ego way. I can write better. I'm a songwriter. That's what I do. I can give this a good go. And I just tried it one day and I thought, wow, there it is.
So did you meet any challenges? Like, because I can see similarities to MSA. Like, you're going into an area where women, especially Muslim women, weren't really seen or represented. So we had a lot of challenges. But were there any challenges for you?
So many. Like, there's been so many times where I've wanted to throw the towel in and be like, you know what, I can't do this anymore because it's challenging. Like, people forget you got feelings. You know, you're human and you're still a female. You can be strong, but we're still delicate. And people really forget that, and then they kind of come at you in this masculine way, and it's like, well, your walls straight away go up. How are you meant to be feminine if they're attacking you on that scale of man to man? Like, I'm a woman. Let me be feminine. Like, don't come at me like that.
So did you have the haram police on you?
Oh my God, where is the car?
Because we know what that feels like to you.
And like what sad is that it's women that do this.
That's it.
And, you know, the men can be really supportive. And, you know, my songs, and I can say it, are not made for the male ear. They're not made for the men to listen to. If you want to listen to it, fine. It's on you. I wrote these because there was no one else doing this for us women to listen to.
Yeah.
We don't always just want to listen to man all the time. Yeah. Where's our sister-to-sister voice? And so that was where I came into it. And it was never for the intention of being for the male ear. It's for women and young girls. Like, come on, they want to sing along too to someone that they can represent them. But anyways, and I've had constant people where they're like, where's your hijab? And you know, all the time I do get it from even professional establishments as well. I'm not going to mention any names where people in high in power have been like, oh, you know, for this event, do you mind just wearing a scarf and coming on the stage?
Those things really annoy me.
And I just have one response to them every time they say that to me. It's like, before you booked me, you knew what you were signing up for before you booked me. Do you know what I mean? And number two, this is my journey. If I, at the moment, I'm not doing it for the sake of Allah, then who the hell are you to ask me to do that? Do you know what I mean? And that's just, I just leave it at that because it just makes them go, oh my God.
No.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like, it's no disrespect to them, but I'm like, guys, you've got to use your brain. Like, when you're booking people, come on, like, you should know what you're signing up.
But it's that mentality, right? It's that mentality.
But it's also the sad thing is a lot of women in that situation then say, okay, then just for tonight, I'll put on a hijab. And I've been in situations where I've been with people.
That pressure.
And they've put it on and it really hurts me actually, because I'm just like, no, if that's not you and you're not doing it for the sake of Allah, then
that's it.
Don't do it because of the pressure. I just find that really...
and I have turned a good few things down, or where I'm like not budging on it, like, guys, I'm sorry, and inshallah I'll get there. Do you know what I mean? I'm gonna get there, I know that, but leave it be. Don't mislead your audience. And this is a big thing for me as a company. Don't mislead your audience. Be real with them.
We're just gonna Photoshop a hijab on. We're gonna draw.
Bobby's very good at making silly things.
Any particular style you want?
Do you want to turn one?
God, the high man one. Oh my God, so funny. But you know, again, and it's just like, and then you got the flip side where the people are so positive and so responsive from it, and they're like, this is what we've needed. This is what we need. You know, we need songs like this. We need messages like this. We need voices like yours. And you know, working with Interfaith now and kind of just doing things where people are seeing us for more than you know what they've stereotyped us to be. And you know, and I try my very hardest to remain respectful and to kind of remain open-minded, but also mindful of how I represent myself to people, because I am still a Muslim. You know, I mean, regardless of whether I wear my hijab or not, I'm still a Muslim. I believe, I pray, I do everything. You know, apart from small things, big things that we know we should be doing. I'm not stupid, but we're not there. Some of us are not there yet. So don't beat us down with a stick.
No, you're really honest, and I thank you for that. I think that will resonate with a lot of our audience as well, because I think a lot of people don't talk about the honesty in that. I think we're forced to sort of say, I will wear a hijab, you know, and that, you know, I'm not there yet. But you've been quite honest in your journey, and I think I really respect you for that.
Thank you. You have to. It's a journey. It's difficult. You know, it's not easy for us because we always... You self-reflect. You always look at yourself and think, okay, am I doing the right thing? Am I going the right way? You know, is anybody there that's got my back telling me, oh, maybe you should do it like this? Or do you know what I mean? Like I saw your last podcast where you were saying similar things where, you know, if I was dressed a certain way, who's going to tell me on the side, you know, that, oh, maybe you should.
And I was about to say that. It's like, just because we wear a hijab or just because somebody else wears a hijab doesn't mean they're any better than you, just because they have this particular look about them, or if they quote a hadith against you or to you or anything like that, it doesn't make them a better person. They might be a little bit knowledgeable.
Exactly. And what we were saying in previous episodes is we're all old enough now to know right and wrong. We all know right and wrong. We don't need to sit there like it's different when I'm correcting a child. We're all adults. We know now.
And I think you lead by representation as well, and you lead by example. Your manners make you. And I think people naturally, especially non-Muslims, are looking at that, and they're looking at how you behave with people, how you speak with them. That's what's going to bring
Islam,
them.
the people forget that it is your mannerisms that people love. That's what draw people to Islam. It's your mannerisms. It's how you behave with people, how you treat people.
Absolutely.
And sometimes because people think they do have that higher knowledge, they forget those basic human things, isn't it?
Absolutely. And people just forget those things, and I'm like, just be kind to each other. Stop trying to beat everybody with the same stick. Like, it's boring.
That's humanity, right?
That's it. It's just
that human nature.
When you go back, that's how Islam spread, by watching, those who were practicing in the correct ways.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
And again, just lift each other up. There's just far too much negativity, and I'm like, no, we don't need that. We just need strong women together, and men, whoever you are, just be nice to each other and lead by that example. And people naturally will just follow your lead. Be like, I want to be like I want to be like this and that. They will naturally just follow you if if you're going to the right path, or you're on that journey. You're right. Don't worry about anybody else left or right. Because if I did that, if I worried about every single thing somebody said to me, I swear to God, I would not make it anywhere in this industry. I wouldn't be anywhere close to where I needed to be. So alhamdulillah, do you know what I mean? Have that good, strong head on your shoulders and just remain true.
I wanted to talk about your preparation for a gig or an event, and I was trying to compare it to football. So obviously we had the FA Cup final, and Man United were playing.
I saw your stories of that. I've never been to a football match in my life, so we've got to make this happen.
I know, a lot of anxiety. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't eat on the day. Goodness. So the FA gave us a 3-course meal because we were in the Royal Box, right?
Nice.
And I couldn't finish my food. That was the first time I couldn't finish my food.
Wow. But you weren't playing, bro.
I was literally kicking every ball. Every ball I was kicking.
If she had a chance, she would be. Trust me. She'd be on that
ball. Yeah. I was the manager on the day. I was the coach. I was the goalkeeper. I was the midfielder. I was the defender. I was everything. God. So is that how you feel? It's like lots of butterflies and your heart beating really fast.
Honestly, so much. Because on top of all of those things, it's then in your mind as well, okay, who are these audience? Are they going to like me? Are they going to do what some people do and kind of like, astaghfirullah. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
Astaghfirullah, yeah.
So like in your head, it's just so many different tick boxes. Okay, you got to get your words right. And I always say this, sometimes I joke on my story and I'm like, right, how difficult is it? You're going to learn your words, you're going to sing in tune, you're wearing a damn dress, you're holding a mic, you've got your heels on, whatever, and not falling.
Quite flary as
well. Yeah, honest to God. And it's like a whole different thing. I'm not going to lie, I've got a video of me falling.
There you go. Celebrities do fall as well,
funny. Yeah. It is so funny.
You're up there with the best.
Yeah.
Where was it? Where was it, Farhana? Where did you fall?
Do you know what? There's only one other person that saw it. And I'm not even going to say it, but it was so hilarious. I just tripped, and then in slow-mo, like, boom.
Did you hear that? Boom, boom.
God. And I thought to myself, thank God this was not live on camera, because it wasn't, thank God. But I would have been absolutely mortified.
I'm sure there were many recordings. Yeah, had it.
Because you know what, when you're on stage, you're so elegant and graceful.
Yeah, you
like
are.
even at one point, I saw the cable was wrapped around, and you just with your hand movement untangled this thing, and I just watched in amazement, like,
how did you do that so calmly?
I think you get used to, like, you're familiar with stages and with mics and with this kind of setup. Like that's me used to that. Like you with the ball or whatever. It's you that you're used to that. And so for me, those things I don't worry. My thing is more, okay, you're breathing, relax, calm down. Because if you're nervous, your voice starts to shake and you can't. Do you know when you're angry, you're talking to someone, it's like, you kind of, your voice shakes, right? You know what I mean? When you shout at your husband.
When you shout at your husband.
Welcome to the Muslimah Sports Association, where empowerment and sportsmanship meet for Muslim women. Dive into our world of sports, tailored exclusively for you. From the exhilarating teamwork of football and the strategic plays of netball to the challenging strokes of dragon boat racing and the precision of fencing, whether you're looking to find your strength in wellness classes or experience the thrill of the NFL, we've got it all. Join a community where faith meets fitness, courage and camaraderie. The Muslimah Sports Association, where every Muslim woman discovers her champion within. Visit us today and kickstart your journey to greatness. Your sport, your sisterhood, your strength.
So yeah, all of those things, but the prep behind it, and especially when you've got multiple gigs in the same week or a couple of weeks, like May for me was so crazy. Alhamdulillah, like I'm so blessed to be able and fortunate to be able to come to certain places to do what I do. Nobody gets that opportunity to do it and be on these big stages. But the build up to that is, whoa, you're taken away from your family. You don't get to spend any time with them. A lot of your time is through work, and then after work you're prepping for your next events, and then in between that I'm in studios and I'm writing, because my job is a writer as well, and I'm back in the studios then doing what my living is, you know, trying to write songs, and so all of that mixed together means sometimes it's a bit lonely, like you're away a lot of the time from people, family and friends, you know, and so I'm very much a lone wolf in the sense of nobody else understands as a creative unless you're with a creative how it works. So yeah, I latch on to people who are creative because they get it. I'm like, yeah, you understand where I'm coming from. Do you know what I mean? Same with any athlete as well, like the time it takes to rehearse, the training hours that goes into it, you know, all of that stuff I'm sure is as lonely and as difficult in their own right in that field.
So you wrote our song quite quickly. We put you under pressure.
Yeah.
How long would it normally take you, and how long did it take you to learn the song?
It's the inspiration behind writing the song. So I think when you guys set me the challenge of, okay, we've got this event coming up and we
did you
really
know
want
much
something.
about MSA? Did you know much about
I knew
us?
not too much, but I had heard of you guys before through, I think, a different event. I'm not sure what it was. I met you at Interfaith.
Yeah.
That's how I first knew it. That's the first time I knew of you guys. So this wasn't our first meet. It was Interfaith. And so anyways, when I got the call to kind of collab with you guys, I straight went on to do some research.
And that bit was really funny because we were talking to you, Press.
Yeah.
And they were like, oh, we know somebody.
Yeah.
And we have the
we know
perfect person. And they were like, Farhana. And we were like, oh, we know her.
No, it was us who went Farhana, and they were like, that's who went.
Do you know what a funny moment that was? Because I was like, well, guys, I'm singing at their show, and he's like, oh. It's like, okay, penny dropped. But it worked out so well, alhamdulillah. And I did my research. I went on to see what amazing things the girls were doing, what you guys were doing behind the scenes, watched all the YouTube videos, kind of just got a bit of inspiration behind it. And then straight away I just started penning down. The first line is always maybe the hardest, and sometimes you write a song backwards. So you write maybe the chorus first, and then you start working your way backwards, or you hum a melody. And the process is different every time you write a song. It just, where's that first line going to come from? And I think the first line was, she is strong, she is brave. And I'm sure that was probably the first thing that came to mind when I saw. And you look at yourself as well, like, or any woman. This could relate to any one of these women.
That's exactly what I thought.
And kind of that's where it sort of,
especially to our moms as well.
Yeah. Yes. Oh my God.
If you look back and you think of your mom straight away, right?
Straight away, because it is all of them. It's all of us women.
Yeah.
And again, it wasn't. I put in a line about sport. But I thought, well, it was for you guys, so let me just chuck in kind of like something to do. But it worked really well, It kind of was meant to be that way. Yeah. But I could have changed that line to anything that was a bit more generic. But I thought, no, it works for the event. Yeah. And then that song got done really quickly.
And
honestly,
then do you
very
wait for
fast.
like feedback? Do you think, oh, what if they don't like it? Do you have that in you, or is it just, I love my song and I don't care? Because I would be that kind of.
And I feel those moments are really interesting. But I think with me, when I write them, I know straight away that this is a hit or it's a miss. And if it was a miss, I honestly would never have given it to you. I'd be like, I'm gonna throw this away and do it again. But it just, for me, I was like, no, but this song is almost Disney, like in my mind. I was like, but the song is Disney. It could go so far, and that's how I saw it and visualised it. That, hold on a minute, I could see this in a movie. And
of that, when we first heard it,
it
was Yash and I and Z, the three of us sitting there watching it, and we were like, our faces, it was a Disney moment.
Amir my father was on the call as well, right? And their faces, watching our faces, were just like.
I did hear when I spoke to Amir, and he did say, I wish there was a fly on the wall, because their faces were just like, kept the mouth just kept dropping like more and more and more. And that was a real honour for me, and I was really happy with that, because it is scary. It's like you're giving your baby to someone else, and you're like, okay, how are they going to react to this piece of work? It could go either way, because you could have been like, oh, I just wanted it to be a bit more nasheed fied and ooh and ah, and but you could have easily have said that, and you didn't, and you were just like, this was, you probably didn't even think it was going to go that way.
I mean, because Sal goes, oh, it's not even got a musical instrument in it.
No.
And I was like, huh? What are you talking about? I had a musical instrument.
It was all vocals. Everything was vocal. So
because that was our requirement, wasn't
that's
it?
That's right, exactly. And so when we first obviously did the recording, it was just completely raw. My voice, it was just raw in the studio, so nothing. And then it got sent over to a really good friend of mine, producer Taslim in South Africa, to add on vocals. And he's the best in the business. You know, big up Taslim. He's the best in the business.
So he does all the.
Then he did all that. So
instruments come out of his mouth.
Yeah, basically.
That's amazing. I just
when
find
you
it
listen
so
to it, when you listen to it, you'll hear it's the oohs and the ahs. You will hear those if you listen really carefully. So there's no kind of drum. There's nothing. It's just voice.
But they
that's amazing.
And so like I would in the song, you'll hear me adding my own elements to it. We call them ad libs, or we call them harmonies. I've added all of that in there, and then he's added more on top of that. So it's just like this massive kind of just orchestra of different voices within the song, and it just worked so well.
Shaf's has got a couple of questions written down for
I think you really asked for might be now.
I'm going to have a sip of my very large cup of tea, as large as my head.
Do you want your glasses?
No. Bobby, might as well borrow yours then, innit? No. If you're going to... No. No, okay, if I am old, massage my feet, hold my arms. I've got these ideas from someone. All right, let me see if they did ask any question. What did you get inspiration from writing new songs? What do you get?
Where do I get inspiration from writing new songs? Life and people's experiences really shape the realness and the rawness in my songs. So anybody who kind of knows me well will see, I wouldn't say it's like a diary, but you can almost say it's a window into people's souls.
Yes. Wow.
And as I'm deep that way, like everything I write has purpose and meaning. It's not just, I could write a song in here in 2 seconds if I wanted to, but it wouldn't mean anything.
Should we do a challenge?
Should we want for the podcast?
I can join in this podcast. I should have written a song. But it's easy to do if it doesn't mean anything to you. Yeah. It's deep. It goes deeper than that. And if you listen to all of my songs, then you'll be like, oh shoot, she's really saying something here if you listen.
But then do you feel quite vulnerable? Like you've just
very much so
opened up?
Very,
because like
very
Adele
much
talks
so.
about her, like if she doesn't have a breakup, she's got no songs, right? Do you know what I mean? Like her songs are all about breakups and like her and love as well.
Most songwriters will say it's either that they can detach from emotion, which is one element of being able to write songs, that you could tell me a story, or you could tell me your life story, and I can transform that into music, into a song. And I'm just, when you're very good with words, it just is so natural. It's very easy. Oh, I didn't say easy. Some songs, like I've gonna have one that's gonna come out in the next couple of weeks. It took me months to write that song. Months. I had the chorus and I was like, right, I've got this. Didn't know where it was going. I was like, where am I taking it? Some things can take months and some things can take days or less than that, or a day to write.
Following on from Shaf's question, like what's your inspiration? Who was your inspiration growing up? Who did you listen to?
Oh, I was a classic girl. So I was the big voices. I was Celine Dion's and Mariah's and Whitney's. I was Tupac
I was really
and
expecting
Biggie.
you to say Backstreet Boys. I was actually thinking about it at home, and I was like, she's going to say she's a big Backstreet Boys fan.
I was a huge Backstreet Boys fan. Had a T-shirt and everything.
Oh, did you have a T-shirt? Yeah. Oh, here we are.
Come on.
High five.
I had it all. Went to the concert, everything. I was ultimate fangirl of Backstreet Boys.
I'm not the only one with the T-shirts and jumpers.
But it was a very eclectic taste in music when we were growing up. So it was the pop, it was R&B, it was hip hop, it was rock, it was everything. It was qawwali, spiritual. It was everything. Maybe not desi music is not my thing. I'm not gonna lie. It just wasn't something that I listened to. Sorry, it just really wasn't. And I actually think that shaped me as a singer today, because if I had that type of influence as a singer,
it would be so
I think
different.
my songs would have just had a different style to them, which I believe makes me more unique, that they're just so pop, if I can dare to use that word, pop and mainstream, which is different from a lot of the other artists who have a bit more of a maybe Arab feel or a bit more of a Pakistani kind of that twang to it. And there is a big difference.
You were a Backstreet Boys fan. I knew it. She ain't going to say no Bollywood here.
Blackstreet, you know, all of these guys growing up. I mean, you must have listened to them growing up as well. You know,
they
were
was
incredible.
grunge indie ones. So like Oasis and Stone Roses.
I've got a great. I'll show you an Oasis song. I'll send that to you later. But you know, I love music. I loved voices like that. I loved music
who was
like
you?
that.
Because you're a bit younger than us.
Are you? Are you?
I liked R&B and a bit of pop, I think.
Because if you listen to
like
the
Lauryn
R&B that we all
Hill, do you know
grew
what I
up
mean? Like
with.
Lauryn Hill,
Yeah, Lauryn Hill was
Fugees,
good.
like all of these
Fugees.
guys, and they help you understand storytelling. And you have to listen to music and words
the
like
rap
that to
back
do
in
that.
the days did tell a story.
They were pure
The rap
storytelling.
and
Now
grime
it's
now, I'm
absolute
not
trash.
sure.
It's
Trust
pots
me.
and pans, and I'm like, I can't listen to you guys because you don't tell me a story. I don't want to hear you unless you've got something to say. That's just full stop.
So when you're not
definitely.
singing for Hannah, anything you're interested in? Any sports?
Man,
Yeah,
I-
you must have to keep healthy and fit.
I have brothers who watch sport, and my mum loves sport. So my God, I
that's
have to sit there and watch the damn football.
Who do you support?
Lovely football.
Manchester United.
Sorry, what was that? Yasha's
It's
team.
Manchester United and it's Tottenham, so it's kind of one or the other.
Oh, there you are.
How is that possible?
I don't know.
Okay. You're not allowed. I've been taught you're not allowed to support two
It's
teams.
whoever wins.
Exactly. Whoever wins. That's what I used to do.
It's whoever wins. But no, I used to love being sporty. I was very sporty when I was growing up. I used to love that. And then life got busy, man. I know I'm throwing excuses, sorry. But it did. Life got busy and I'm like, oh, I miss running and I miss going to the gym and I miss doing all them fun things. You know, I used to be very acrobatic. I used to do all the splits, all the flips, all of those things.
Because you were a dancer as well. You were saying,
Yeah, I grew up learning tap, jazz, ballet, all of those things. So naturally, I was very flexible as a child.
Someone does
growing
ballet.
Up, do you do ballet?
No, I'll show you mine.
See your pirouettes.
Pirouettes.
Oh, very nice. Very nice.
She's just got a photo.
Okay.
As far as it goes.
I love it. I love it.
More than you.
But yeah, I think now that I'm older, I think I've now realised how important sport and mental health goes hand in hand together. And if you're just stuck between four walls and you're not doing anything, it's really dangerous for you. And you need to get outside into the fresh air, whether it's going for a walk or whether it's running or anything where you're just your feet's in the grass. Something where you can just be grounded, you know, and I've noticed that a lot. That it's so important, and I think I need to listen to my own words, and after this month, start doing that again because it's so important for us. Because we're busy women. We don't just have one job. Do you know what I mean? We're not one-track ponies.
Maybe
we have
we could do
things
singing
to do.
walks or something.
Oh, that's a good one.
That's a good one. We're photography
Oh my
walks.
God,
and
I love
That's an
that.
idea.
Yeah,
isn't
that's
it?
an idea.
It's an idea.
That'd be really good.
I
Isn't
can
it?
sing.
We're not trying to scare the animals out. In the wilderness, right?
Oh, no,
Did you have any more questions?
No, I'm all right.
Is it all?
Yeah, well, I didn't have questions, but you already asked.
Scared, I know.
As you perform so much, have you had any horror stories on stage?
Ooh. I wouldn't say horror stories. I would say more disrespect from the audience.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm going to take it there. And I'm going to take it to South Asian people in the audience. I'm going to take it there, right? You guys, when people sing and when people perform and when people are doing speeches and when people are...
they
up
don't
there,
shut up.
Be quiet, guys. Be quiet. It's disrespectful.
Yes.
And it bugs me. I
And if
rant
the
about it all the
audience
time.
stands up, you should stand up
Don't
too.
do that. Yeah. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I find these manners and basic etiquette is something that people forget.
Yes.
And I'm like, guys, come on, man. I know that you haven't socialised in a long time.
But they see each other
ouch.
at weddings. They see each other at weddings.
Time and a place.
Yeah, time to play.
There's plenty. We had so much time to socialise at your event. And your event was very respectful, and that's why I came out of it with the positive. Whereas if it was on the other foot, I would have been like, nah. So now I will actually turn down an event
We
from a
had Shaf
same.
standing there with a bowl of apples.
Yeah, I did. I was just standing there, no talking.
No,
That's our key weapon.
but it's okay. Like, you clap and someone's finished, and you're like, oh my God, he or she was great, and you know.
But then they carry on talking throughout the whole...
But then they carry on talking, and then you've got the children talking, and I'm like, guys, it's a respect thing. For me, there's nothing more important than respect and respecting the people that you're with, regardless of where you're from. It's just respect. Be courteous to each other, and that's the one thing that winds me up, and I'm like, right, guys. Whereas I think I've got it slightly a bit more easier, that when I do open my mouth, I mean, I've got this stereotype. People think I'm going to come on stage and do Bollywood, right? That's number one stereotype. They do, right? I've got my dupatta, I'm about to go.
You should do one.
You know, and then the minute I open my mouth, people just instantly be quiet. Yeah. It's like a pin will drop, you know, and that's wherever I go, because they don't expect you to sing that way. They don't expect the woman to open her mouth to sing that way. You know, it's not Bollywood, and oh my God, it's English. Do you know what I mean? So people instantly, they're just like, oh my God, who is that? So I'm lucky in that sense where I've got that advantage that people will do that. But for other people on stage, I'm like, guys, this is really rude. Just be quiet.
I think there was one event we went to, and the host constantly had to say, "Can you all keep quiet, please? Can you all?" And like every 2 minutes.
It's just wrong, isn't it? It's really. It's not nice, and I think lead by example. You have to have the respect for each other, and this is why sometimes, no offense, Asian people, you guys just sometimes don't get it.
Yeah.
I'm going to put them right on the spot there. You just and it's not everyone, because clearly we're not like that.
You know, you're turning white.
We're not like that.
Be yourself.
You Asian people.
That's it, Farhana.
That's it. You got 3 of us behind you, yeah?
Bobby. It's not white, guys. It's brown.
It's Bobby.
It's Bobby, the brown guy behind the camera, guys. What have I started?
Would you like to talk about this? Have you got any of the stereotypes that Asian people do that you, or funny things that you see?
Because you've got 2 different cultures, so you must have some...
Do you know what? I get this a lot as well, that aunties will start coming up to me and then they'll start talking in Bengali to me. I had this the other day. And then it's like 3, 2, 1, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, bro.
I'm not Bengali. Bro.
You know what? I had to ask Bilal, why don't you... She's not Bengali, I can't do the whole auntie thing today. Otherwise I would have been...
But I don't blame them, because obviously when you're hanging out in a certain environment, or if you're performing at certain events where the majority might be of a certain culture, naturally they're going to assume that you are such person. And so a lot of that is not even stereotype, it's the assumption. And I think assumptions are what get people into trouble as well.
Absolutely.
Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So it's like, I just brush it off and I laugh, and I'm like, oh no, I didn't understand what you're saying, but I just smile and nod, like, be polite.
We're Bengali and we don't understand what you're saying.
We're not that polite.
I think that I'm really
funny.
rude sometimes, though. You know, sometimes on the bus, right? And people will come up to you because they're a bit fresh, and they'll come over and they'll ask me something. No, it depends if I feel sorry for them or not.
It's the way they look, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the way they look.
Are you stereotyping?
I am, actually. So what I'll do is, if they'll not come up to me nicely and they've not asked me nicely, then I'll be like, I'm sorry, I don't understand you.
Yeah.
And I walk away.
Stop talking.
No, I hear you. And I think as well, like,
but I do help the majority.
Like, proud to be British, right? Whatever that means in today's society.
I'm not sure what that means anymore.
Do you know what I mean? But like, we were born here, we speak English, and kind of like, that's my first language, you know, first and foremost. So it's like, well, okay. And people just assume that you speak multiple languages, or you're from a certain area. They will think that you're from a certain area, and kind of then just start going into it as if they know that you're from there. And I'm like, you're kind of far.
It is a shame
far away.
that our culture is disappearing. Our mother tongue is disappearing. So like, do you speak any Urdu?
I do. Yeah,
Oh, you
I
do? So that's good, because that's as...
Yeah, badly though. Badly.
Does your kid?
I have two languages.
No. Yeah, my son doesn't.
Difficult.
English and bad English.
Yeah.
You're going to say something else. English and bad English, okay.
English and bad English. But, you know...
So I'm not the only one then, innit?
But I think it's hard for people in this country the way that we are, where we've got these mixed cultures, and we're kind of... Who are we? It's that very much like, but who are we as people? What side do I take? Who am I? And I can just imagine how for young people that is such a challenge for them.
It must be really
just
difficult.
Must be so difficult. And obviously you've got kids. I don't have kids, so for your teenagers,
mine don't speak Bengali at all.
Do they not?
I think our generation had it the worst though, where we were not quite Bengali,
Not there or not there.
Quite,
Yeah.
you know.
We had a
was
feet
like,
in each
like, we're
continent.
Americans, I think I'm happy to say we're English, isn't it?
Yeah.
One in
We're
east,
happy
one
to
in
say
west.
it.
Oh no! But do you regret that now, though, not teaching?
But we speak Bengali at home, so my husband will speak Bengali, so they'll understand it, but they won't
They
attempt
won't
to.
reply.
Speak it, yeah.
Okay,
Oh,
okay.
No.
They'll struggle.
Do you know what I mean? That's life, I think. That, and where most people do speak English, it is a shame. As long as your values and your culture are there and it's intertwined, I think it's okay. You get away with it a little bit more. Then it would be nice to have the language, but if that disappears, you've got your manners, you've got your culture, you've got your you know, your
The
values
respect
and the
value.
respect. And I
Yeah.
think that is real key. And people, as long as that's not lost, I think we're okay. We've got some hope.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got some hope for sure.
So, Farhana, before we wrap up, is there anything that you want to promote or tell our audience? Feel free to look into there.
Hi guys, I'm Farhana Ali. Thank you to MSA for having me on your wonderful podcast today. So in a couple of weeks' time, I'm releasing my very new single called I Need You. I want you guys to show some support with it, watch the video, share it, listen to it, give me some feedback, and I hope you love it as much as I do. It's a very special song coming out soon called I Need You. And yeah, thank you guys for having me.
Thank you for coming
Thank
on.
you for
so
coming.
much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.